Hello there. Yes, we are Geeks Assembled, and we have gathered here today to talk about the original Poltergeist film. Yes, and I've actually said it right this time after the fourth time of saying it. And let's go over to Beef Dad. What does Beef Dad have to say about this film?
This is one of those films that I have watched time and time and time again. It is absolutely wonderful. I love the concept. Steven Spielberg was superb. The special effects are just absolutely amazing. I love the story. I really do love the story. Basically, Carol Ann disappears into the television, which is basically a portal to a slightly different dimension, but it's a dimension that touches our dimension. So she runs around trying to get back, and her parents keep calling out, "Carol Ann, Carol Ann." And there's some wonderful characterizations in this. I mean, Mum and Dad are really good. Craig Nelson and JoBeth Williams, excellent. You have a paranormal investigator, Dr. Lesh, played by Beatrice Straight, she's just brilliant. And then, of course, there is probably my favourite character in the whole thing, and she was so popular they brought her back for the next film as well, and that is the medium, Tangina, played by Zelda Rubinstein. She is vertically challenged, but she is, whenever she is on screen, you are totally fixed on her. She really is good. Basically, the houses that they've moved to are all built on a cemetery, and it's all horribly haunted. And there's the wonderful end towards the end where the dead rise, but not actually moving, but the coffins come up through the earth, and it's just extraordinary. And the house itself disappears into a singularity and completely disappears. It's, as I say, the effects are absolutely amazing. The performances are brilliant, especially the performances from the kids. And the awful thing about it, of course, Carol Ann Freeling, who was played by Heather O'Rourke. There seemed to end up being a curse on the film, and she got very ill. She did the second film, but you could see from the second film that she was very, very ill. And yeah, so I mean, you have a film with a curse on it, and it was creepy and scary. And there are a couple of moments that are extremely funny. But yeah, I loved it. It gets a 9.5 for me.
A 9.5 from Beef Dad. Thank you, Beef Dad. Now let's go over to Alex and Susan. Go ahead, Alex and Susan.
Yes. The original one was just like Beef Dad said. It was creepy. It was funny. It seemed to have a curse on it as well. I've seen several documentaries where, they've asked the question why. I think it was like 4 or 5 of the stars in the film and even the film crew seemed to suffer misfortune. My parents saw it in the movie theater, and that was kind of an interesting reaction as people were walking out and watching it. I saw it on cable, and I saw it on video too, as well as the sequels 1, 2, and 3. And then they did the remake, which was not good at all. It's kind of funny the way the family is, and then they always have the TV on. And then I laugh a little bit as, like myself, where we always have the internet on. And it's a good thing we don't have any evil spirits going through that, although one wonders. But yeah, some of the scenes are really gross, like with the mirror, and then when the woman is trying to run away, I think, or she's trying to get away, and all these things start happening to her. And of course, the little girl who, part of the curse, not only in the movies but in real life, unfortunately, she died well before she could hit adolescence. But that sort of added to the mystique of the film, and I'm not exactly sure if that was a coincidence or marketing or both. But it is a good movie. The second one is okay. The third one, except for the cast, it really starts getting bad. But like Beef Dad said, it was also the medium. It was the pacing. It was the atmosphere. It's very atmospheric. And, of course, everybody knows the catchphrases in that movie. It's been repeated a billion times. They're here, and all these other catchphrases in the movie that have been repeated everywhere. So you have to give it credit. It's a movie that has lasted. It's a movie that still has a mystique and a creepiness to it. So I'd give it about a 7.9, I think.
And I will. I'll go off on the special effects. The rope, that rope trick was unbelievably cool and gross and fun, and I liked it. And the membranes and the monster were awesome. And I really loved the flashy lights pulling with the ghost hunter, just the paranormal investigator standing there in the middle of the whole thing, being surrounded like a rock star. It was yeah, like there was such good things going on in this movie, and yeah, I don't really have much more to say about it except for I agree with Alex and Nita that it stands the test of time, that it goes through the years, and it's just as cool as it ever was. It's just, I mean, the whole thing is just really cool. So I'll give it an 8.
Thank you, Susan and Alex. Now let's go over to our resident hater. Yes, let's go over to Connor. Go ahead, Connor.
Poltergeist, for me, is a classic film because it's Steven Spielberg. He co-produced it. He didn't direct it, which is the mistake I made of thinking. But you can definitely tell the impact he sort of had on the film. It came out the same year as E.T. as well, so it was really a year where Steven Spielberg was dominating the box office and he was really at the top of his game. So just to know that he was involved is just, I think, enough to turn anyone on to watching this film. You know, as it's been said, the special effects, for 1982, it's a really glossy sort of film. I love the look of it. It's great. It's very 80s. The plot and the ideas of the plot was probably the best of this particular genre, because in horror, this genre is very experimental. I think, you know, you've got all the moving furniture and all that sort of stuff, and it's recently being done in the abysmal Paranormal Activity series. But this is the original and the best of that sort of experimental. And the horror that I like is always a psychological one. So to have this entity, or whatever you want to call it, come and befriend the Heather O'Rourke character is great. I think it's a great story. Yeah, as I said, it's a great glossy film. I love the look of it. Steven Spielberg's involvement was just an instant plus for me. You can really tell, as I said, like where he, because I think he had a lot of say in what went into the script at the time, and you could really tell, and he is really a genius at any genre, I think. Yeah, brilliant direction as well. Even though it wasn't Spielberg, it was. I thought it was great direction. Personally, I know that a lot of people do question the direction of it in some places that I've seen online, but I personally don't have an issue with it. I think overall I'll give this film an 8 out of 10.
An 8 out of 10. Thank you, Connor. Now let's head down south past Leicester, stop off at the garage, have a bit of a bite to eat, get back in the car. Let's go to Craig's house. Go ahead, Craig.
Well, this film was just magical. The lighting and the effects, the whole overall atmospheric tone. I mean, they knew how to create atmosphere in this movie. On top of having a really good storyline and good direction, it was just brilliant. Although for me, I prefer part 2 with I like the whole Navajo Indian aspect and the creepy old guy with the hat. The psychic lady, she's just brilliant. Love her. You're going back to the curse. I think I read that the older daughter in Poltergeist, she got strangled to death by her boyfriend in her 20s, and the young girl died of some sort of bowel condition. But from when I was growing up watching this movie, I'd always heard that when that last final scene when she cuddles her dad, and at the end she was supposed to have had a heart attack and died in his arms or something, but this could all just be rumour and things. And cast and crew during all 3 movies are supposed to have died on set and things falling off and things. On top of the fact that they used real skeletons in the swimming pool scene when the coffins come out. I mean, that's just freaky. So yeah, love this film. So I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
A 9. Thank you, Craig. And we've been to Craig's house. We've had some fun. We've seen his dwarf collection, but now it's time to jump back in the car and head up north to Lee. Go ahead, Lee.
Thank you, Ali. Poltergeist, as it's been mentioned, Spielberg's involvement with this. Didn't direct, produced it, but he also wrote it. The story is by Spielberg. It's a classic 80s suspense horror, whatever you want to call it. It's there is some scenes in it, as has been said, with the mirror where the guy starts pulling the skin off his face. As you said, the skeletons coming up from the ground. But for me, there's also the scene with the toy clown on the chair. The young kid throws his jacket over it on at night so he can go to sleep. That just reminds me of when I was little. I used to have a ventriloquist dummy. And every morning I used to wake up, there was a jumper thrown over the top of it because my mother hated it. Every time she checked on us on the night, she covered it up because it was always looking at her. So it just reminded me of that. But it is an awesome film. As you say, the actors in it, you can't fault them. The case thing, I think it's just coincidence, really. I mean, okay, the actress who did play the older daughter did get strangled by her boyfriend the same year she made this movie. I can't remember if she was ever mentioned again in the 2 sequels at all. But and for Heather O'Rourke, it was a bowel disorder she died of after completing Poltergeist 3. But it's atmospheric. It's so atmospheric. The tree outside the window is. I mean, I'm stating the tree steals the scenes as well. It's just brilliant. It does. I can't understand, but all those houses. I mean, someone could answer this. Was all the houses built on the graves, or was it just that particular house? Because nobody else was having activities in their house, apparently. Because when they was knocking on the neighbour's door, asking if they hadn't heard anything. So I don't know if it was just that particular, as Beef has said, it might have been just the portal in that house. I don't know. I can't get that. But yeah, it's it's a fun film, and also as well, George Lucas has a lot to do with this film. Product placing. I mentioned this before to someone about all the Star Wars merchandise in the boys' bedroom. You looked everywhere. There was Darth Vader, there was Chewbacca, there was a Millennium Falcon. His duvet was Star Wars. And Spielberg and Lucas, they're good friends. So the boss says, "Yeah, I'll put all that out there for you, mate." But yeah, it's and the effects are brilliant. That creature stopped the mother going into the bedroom. That great big spindly legs and the skull face. That was just the effects in that were just brilliant. And as the spirits were coming down the stairs, it was awesome. But I think this film should come with a warning about flashing images. It is very, very bad with the imagery, because if you are an epileptic, it really, because I'm not, but when I was rewatching it this week, it was hurting the eyes, because it was constant. Some scenes flashing, all very strong. But it's classic. It's going to be up there. It's lasted. I'm going to give it an 8.5.
An 8.5. Thank you, Lee. So we've raided the drinks cabinet at Lee's place, and you can't drink and drive, so we're going to have to sleep on the sofa. But anyway, I haven't watched this film, so I can't review it. So I'm just going to throw the floor open to whoever wants to speak. So go ahead.
Do you guys think that the monster was a ghost, or was the ghost a monster?
I think it was an extraterrestrial.
The Munchkin medium said it was a demon. It was an evil demon spirit, and that's the one what remained there after she cleansed the house of all the other spirits. That one remained. So I would say it was a demon.
And his name was Cain.
Yeah.
And he had been some form of cleric, but he'd led his people to destruction and death. So yeah, but one of the other things that always sort of held this for me was the scene where the mother actually goes into the other dimension to bring back her daughter. And that was just incredibly well filmed, beautifully done, and a real piece of cinema magic for me.
Yeah. The what gets me is when the young girl disappears into the TV and you just hear a voice through the static of the television. Those scenes where with the mother just, talk to me, baby, talk to me. Those scenes are just brilliant. I mean, I also think this sort of influenced the idea of Stranger Things, the TV series, because of the young boy disappearing into another dimension and the mother not giving up looking for her son. And she went into the other dimension to bring him back. Bit of similarity there, so bit of thumbs up to Poltergeist for that, I think.
I think that's why I loved it so much, because I got a Stranger Things vibe from it as well. Like I've seen the film before, but knowing what I've seen with Stranger Things and how great that was, you just really appreciate the 80s stuff now and how well they did the horror. And as I said, it's quite an experimental genre in horror, the psychological sort of supernatural things, and it was just really done well. And I'm glad that this movie was made. And I think it was only a week in between this and E.T. being released, So really, I think that might be the best 2 weeks of Spielberg's life.
Maybe getting the Oscar and the knighthood. He might have enjoyed that more.
Yeah, well, but Poltergeist and E.T. are two of his most renowned and greatest films. So to make 2 classics in a row is just some directors never even get to make 1 classic. So
that's true. Yeah.
Craig, you're very quiet. Do you have anything else to add? No? Does anybody else have anything else to add about Poltergeist?
Well, yeah, as I mentioned before, sorry if I'm jumping in. The way they had the TV on all the time, and I made the joke making fun of myself too about having the internet on all the time. And of course, that's the funny joke at the end of the movie is they finally check into a hotel. And just as you think the movie's about to end, they wheel out the TV, the 1980s TV on a wheeled cart. And they put it outside and they go back in the room and go back to sleep. So that was kind of a nice, nice touch.
There's one of the funniest moments. It's a little thing is with the little girl when her little pet bird dies, and she catches her mother putting the bird down the toilet. No, you bury. So she forces to bury the bird. The next thing she says, "Can I have a goldfish?" I just love that scene there. Can I have a goldfish? She's forgot about the bird. I want a goldfish. But little things please me.
Yeah, well, Craig T. Nelson, that played the father in this, oddly enough, he played the father in the film we reviewed a couple of weeks back. He did the voice for Mr. Incredibles.
Did Carol Ann star in any other movies, or was this her only film?
Well, she did the 3 Poltergeists.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that was about it, wasn't it? Don't think she did anymore.
Just message you, Craig.
she died in the mid-90s, didn't she?
God, she's dead.
She looks like the girl in Troll.
The production of the films were not that far apart. I mean, this was 82. The second one was 85, 86. And the third one was about 88, 89. And said the third one was the last one when she died. So
She actually, she did a film after that. Oh no, 1988 was Poltergeist 3. 86 was Poltergeist 2. She did a film called Surviving in 1985. And a bit of TV.
but to get a little girl to act like that as she does in this movie, she does steal the when she's in the movie, because half of the time she's not there, she's in the TV. When she's there, she does steal the scenes from the parents and everything.
Mm.
Such good talent cut short.
Yeah, she was a very talented little actress.
Does anybody else have anything to add? No. Well, that's it. I'd like to thank everybody here for joining me. I'd like to thank you for watching. Don't forget to tell us below what you think of this film. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more podcasts like this. And look after yourself. Take care. And we'll see you next time.